Hi, this is Midrash Tanchuma Parshat Shemini. The backdrop, of course, is the terrible tragedy that happened to the sons of Aaron for bringing this Eish, this unwanted fire, and the fact that they perished. The Midrash talks about the perils of drinking. That's assumed to be certainly one of the reasons, because right afterwards Hashem spoke to Aaron and tells him the prohibition against drinking when you're serving God. And what's interesting is the Midrash wants to emphasize the dangers of drunkenness, talks a little bit about Noach, how he got humiliated, and of course he had ended up cursing the descendants of his own son Ham, and says a new fact about the 10 tribes, that their spiritual and military downfall came because of drunkenness, and that's why they were exiled. But to sort of, really wrap up the subject and accentuate it, it brings an interesting story. That is about a pious young man who passes through the marketplace every day on his way home from his studies, and one day he sees his own father. He knows his father drinks in the taverns, but his father was rolling around in the dirt in the public marketplace, and he was being humiliated, and people were taunting him and humiliating him, and he couldn't believe it, and it happened day after day, and every day he would beg his father, please, I can't bear to see this. It's embarrassing for me and embarrassing for you. Why don't you just stay home and drink? I'll buy all the alcohol you want. And finally his father acquiesced to that. And he did stay home, and he got very drunk, but he was home and he didn't embarrass himself in public. On the next day, again, when the young man was coming home from his studies, he saw a different drunkard. And again, this person was being humiliated, and kids were throwing things at him and taunting him. And he said, wow, this is my perfect opportunity I could show my father what it looks like. It's like holding up a mirror to him. He could see what the world thinks of someone who's drunk and getting drunk every day. And surely this will, stem some kind of a change in my father. He'll realize exactly how low he's sunk. So he brings his father over there, and he says, look, Dad, that's what you look like every day. See how that man is being humiliated and taunted? That was you. That's how the world looks at someone in this state. What do you think, Dad? And the father says, I need to get closer to that man. And he gets very, very close to him, and he says to him, that's really powerful stuff you got there. Where did you get that? I want to get some of that. And of course, his son is dismayed. He said, Dad, that's what you take out of this? That's what you learn from this? A place to get, whiskey that has a stronger than what you're used to? And the father says to the son, I'm sorry, this is my joy in life. This is my Gan Eden. And the Midrash goes on to say that really, for a Jew, learning Torah and performing, mitzvos, that is supposed to be our Gan Eden. And the difference, of course, of artificially using wine to reach some kind of a level of happiness means not only is it not long-lasting, but it gets replaced with sadness, depression, while the Torah and the mitzvos are a longer-lasting joy. So the question is this an implied criticism? It seems like it, an implied criticism of the sons of Aaron, who were trying to artificially get to some kind of exalted state, not, as the Midrash says, finding joy in just the fact that they're doing God's commandments, and and that's it. Doing mitzvos and Torah, that should bring you there. It's also interesting to question ourselves: do we need this kind of perfect scenario where our images are mirrored by someone else in exactly the same situation? Is that the only way we can improve, or can we work on our midos? Are we open to people giving us spiritual guidance? That's what a Jew has to do, and that is really the theme of this parsha in Midrash Tanchuma. Have a great Shabbos. Thank you.